You guys have been loving this Walstad tank here. The response has been amazing on it. So today, you're either gonna really love me or really hate me for what I'm about to do to this tank. I'm gonna tear it up. Let me show you why. So here's our Walstad tank, and it looks beautiful, right? Full grown in, as MD fish tanks would say, it's a proper nature aquarium, right? But ever since I set this up, literally the day that I set this up, I looked at the hardscape and went, you idiot, you totally missed the mark. Look at my hardscape. I've got my sticks and stuff up over in this side here. The rocks are slanted, well, slanted this way, but slanted down, right? And it tapers from that corner all the way down to here. That's a triangle composition right there. And what did I do? I just threw a bunch of plants all the way across the back. So what I'm gonna do is pull up all of the stem plants here, hopefully not make too much of a mess, but if I do, I have more sand, so it's not a big deal. I'll just put some more sand on top to recover up the dirt. My sand bed was a little low anyway, a little short here. It should have been a little taller. So I'm gonna pull these stem plants up. I'm pretty much gonna take everything out except the carpeting glossostigma, and I'm going to resize the plants in a tall fashion here and taper it back down to short stuff like the S. repens. So we're gonna maintain this triangle composition here, and I'm also gonna try and do a color gradient. I'm gonna start with the deep reds like the Ludwigia Super Red, Ludwigia Super Red Mini, there we go, and the Rotala Hatra. I'm gonna kind of taper that stuff down. The Rotala is more of an orangey kind of color. The Ludwigia is, of course, a super red. So I'm gonna go from red to orange to kind of green. You know, our Walichi is gonna go in there as well. Gonna try and do a color taper gradient. Well, I already said that. Let's just get on to it. I'm gonna throw you guys on a time lapse because I think with the amount of work it's gonna take here, the best way for you to kind of watch this is gonna be with some music and a time lapse. So we'll show you the guppies here. They're gonna stay in the tank during this whole process. They're really gonna be upset with me. But let's get you on a time lapse here and let's start rescaping. I had to pause to show you this. In my last video update, I told you that the cryptocorin balansae had completely died away and melted away. Well, I guess the roots, they were still good because there he is back there growing again. So we're gonna try and save that plant. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna put it, but we'll stuff it in here somewhere and let it grow out. Can always transplant it later. Guppies are still doing okay for now. They're a little freaked out when I'm in there pulling stuff up. I'm doing a pretty good job of keeping it decently clean. We'll probably vac it again real quick since we're gonna do a water change anyway. Once we get all the plants out, we'll vacuum it up, maybe put some more sand in. I'm not sure quite yet. All right, back to music and back to time lapse. First off, our glossostigma in the front here, as you might have seen with the time lapse, is I went ahead and I trimmed it all level and I just removed all of the tops. I was going to replant them, but they were just a bunch of little teeny tops, and so it'll grow back and it'll carpet in nicely. You saw that I did add more sand across the entire thing here, so we have a little bit deeper base, not too much, but just a little bit, another 1/2 or 3/4 inch. But let's get into the idea here. As you can see, I have tried to maintain this diagonal kind of theme here, this triangle composition. So what I did was over here in the very back corner, that is all of the Ludwigia Super Red Mini over there. And next to it, and that one of course is very red. And then next to it here is where I did the Rotala H-Raw, which is red, but it's kind of like more of an orangey red as far as my light produces anyway. It's pretty much like an orangey red, so I wanted that gradation kind of down behind the rock over here, transitioning into the green. Now, back over here on the left, this is where we put the Hygrophila penitafida. I hate trying to say that one. Hygrophila penitafida. But it is starting to grow into its immersed growth, or its submerged growth pattern, I'm sorry. It was immersed, and now it is submerged, and so it lost all of its big leaves, and it's getting this like little tiny red leaves. So we'll see what happens with this one here. I've never had experience with that plant, as with a lot of these in this tank. That was the whole purpose of me putting it together, was to experience different plants that I've never worked with before. Some of them good, some of them not, but let's move on to one of the knots. Our Wallichi here, this is our Rotala Wallichi. I think I'm pointing in the right spot for you here, but right next to all of this H-Raw, down at the base of that stick right there, is the Wallichi. It was doing great when I first planted it, and it was transforming from its immersed to submerged version, and now it just is kind of melting again, so I don't know what's going on with that. But behind it, and kind of over a little bit more, you'll see these little stubby stalks right here. Those little stubby stalks are the moneywort, and moneywort grows really well. I've trimmed it a couple of times already, and so it is going to fill in, is going to shoot 2 little runners off, or 2 new shoots when you cut it. So I'm gonna see if I can get moneywort to bush. It's not really designed to bush. It kind of grows in a tall straight stalk. But we're going to see what we can do with it. As long as I keep it trimmed there, we should be able to keep our kind of triangle composition there. The guppies think I'm going to feed them. They're going nuts. There's an algae wafer down here they've been munching on. All right, moving on. Next to it, right down here, you're going to see a little bit lighter and smaller leafed plant. It looks kind of like moneywort, but it's not. That is the Nisea, I think is how you say it. Nisea golden, or the golden Nisea. So my idea and thinking was that we're going to have really red, orangey red, kind of an orange with the Wallichi, and then moving into a green, dark green, and then kind of a light green down on the side over here. We'll see how it works when it grows in. I know it kind of looks like garbage right now, but that's because we just trimmed everything. So you'll get an update before the end of the video once these things fill out. All right, finally, right down in the front, we have all of our S-repins. We just kind of placed our S-repins along down in this little section over here. Little tops, we're gonna see if we can keep them nice and low and maintain our triangle composition. My plan is to have all of the glossostigma kind of carpet back in here and fill in this area over in here and just kind of carpet right up to the hardscape, and I think it'll look pretty cool. Finally, of course, we've got our floaters up here. They always look great. All right, the next view for you is going to be when this thing fills in a little bit. Let's see if my butcher job worked out the way I had intended it to. It's actually been a couple of weeks now. I totally forgot to film this thing when it had filled in before the algae growth. So what you're seeing here is the same state that you're going to see it in the next video pretty much. And for those of you that have been following the channel, you may have seen, 25 of you saw a video update on this tank that wasn't supposed to be posted yet. I accidentally set it to public instead of scheduled. This video was supposed to come out first, and I made a mistake. Anyway, you've kind of seen this for those lucky 25 that caught the video before I took it down. It'll be up shortly after this one, so no worries. But let's take a look at the Walstad as it's filled in here. All right, so here's our Walstad and all of its algae glory, I guess. But you can see that it is filled in here. Our glossostigma has filled in pretty nicely. I'm gonna go through this pretty quick because I do have another video coming out real quick with this update here. But you can see how this all kind of filled in. We've got kind of our triangle concept going here. I need a trim right here to kind of smooth all that out. But you get the idea here of, you know, kind of what I was going for. Just some nice bushy red over here, kind of a green orangey red going on here, and down and so forth. So there you go, guys. There's your shot of the Walstad filled in and not really in the state I wanted to show it to you in this video, but such is YouTube and such is filming, right? Alright guys, that's going to close out this video. I hope you enjoyed the update. It is late at night. I'm going to get this edit done for you though before I go to bed and get it up on the channel for you. It's a lot of work sometimes making these videos. So if you have watched a couple of my videos and you've enjoyed the content, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Only like, I don't know, 6% of you are subscribed. So help me get to 1,000 subscribers so I can start getting paid for this stuff. Oh, I see all the lights are turning off, so that's my cue to end the video and get this edited up for you guys. I will see you on the next one. See you there.